I figured out what it is that I like from scary.
Let's hear it.
I like the feeling of dread. I like the anxiety that the anticipation of fear gives me.
Wow. I think you need to talk to someone. Hi everybody, welcome to What Have You Been Reading? I'm Alex.
What it do, baby boo?
And that is Karla.
That's Karla.
Thank you for joining us on episode 13 of What Have You Been Reading?
Lucky number 13.
I'm losing Karla.
Is it going to be, okay, this is going to come out close to like Halloween time. So, it was planned to be spooky, lucky number 13. It wasn't.
Let's start there. I'm going to put you on the spot. And this is right up your alley. What's your favorite spooky or fall read?
I don't have fall reads, remember? I don't go with the
spooky.
season. Spooky. It. I love it.
Okay.
Ooh. Full Dark, No Stars, short story book by Stephen King also.
Wait, say it again.
Full Dark, No Stars is also very, very good.
Okay.
And Everything's Eventual, which is also a short story book by him, was really, really good because in one of those short stories, one of those people describes like a sensation that they're feeling, and I was like, "Oh, snap-a-doodle, that's a sensation I feel."
Ooh,
and
I love when that happens.
Oh my god, it's the best. It's the best when it finally puts into words what you are feeling. It's like, it's
yes.
like when your hands interlace with your other hand, and it's all meldy. It's the best.
I do love that feeling when you find relatable stuff in books. I don't do spooky, but last year I read a lot of fall reads. I mentioned in the last episode, I think, that I kind of skipped over fall this year and went straight into holiday. But some of my favorite fall books last year were Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe, which had a little magical realism element to it and kind of just gave me, I don't know, like small town homey vibes. And then The City Baker's Guide to Country Living was another one that, again, kind of like a small town, and it's all about this apple pie contest. Sign me up. I loved it.
What's your favorite pie?
Okay,
you can choose two.
Banana cream pie from Coco's.
Hell yeah.
Coco's just closed.
I know. But banana cream pie is, oh my god, top tier. And if you sprinkle walnuts on top of it.
Yeah. It's got to have. So good. I think I need to learn how to make it now that I don't have a Coco's nearby.
Bummer.
But they had the best. Like the banana cream filling was the best.
Oh man. Pies, yo. I think I
feel like apple
pie
is overrated.
Yes. It's all about the cherry or the peach. If you're going to go fruit.
I like a peach cobbler. I like peach cobbler.
I like the pie top. What is that thing?
Like a crust?
Yeah, the crust.
Lattice?
Ooh,
crust.
I like a full crust.
Okay.
With a little bit of the peach filling. Oh my god, it's the best.
Do you have it with vanilla ice cream?
I don't. I like the pie by itself.
Ooh, okay.
What is that? A pie purist.
Do you prefer brownies by themselves or a la mode?
I'm not a big brownie person to begin with. Let's psychoanalyze that. I'm not a big brownie person to begin with, but I guess that I like the two types of temperatures that that come with a little bit of ice cream. Yeah. But I prefer to have my foods separated. So if I were going to do that by choice, I'm going to serve it myself, I would have the brownie by itself and the ice cream by itself, and then I would combine.
Yeah, I have to have my ice cream ratio to brownie ratio has to be just right. You know, so that I have the exact same amounts to match up. If I have too much ice cream or too much brownie and you end on one or the other, it's so disappointing.
Which is why I wanted you to have all three flavors.
Yes, we have a little snack tray. Karla has some Halloween pretzels. We got a little sharp cheddar cheese and some delicious red grapes. And Karla said I have to have all three of them at the same time, which I found challenging.
But
they're delicious.
Rewarding.
But rewarding, yes. So worth the overstuffing.
Just be like a chipmunk.
Chipmunk, yes.
Okay, so Halloween time.
Yes.
I'm gonna dive in.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what I've been reading.
Carla. Carla, what have you been reading?
So I read that book that Jeff had recommended last time.
It was The Sundown Motel
by St. James. What is her name? Sinclair, I think? Sinclair St. James?
That all sounds fine to me.
Nope.
No, that's not it.
Simone St. James.
Simone St. James.
So, it was good.
Yeah.
It gave you a sense of dread, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I figured out what it is that I like from scary.
Let's hear it.
I like the feeling of dread.
Oh my God. That's what I hate.
I like
What do you like about it?
I like the anxiety that the anticipation of fear gives me.
Wow. I think you need to talk to someone.
But obviously it's in a very controlled environment. It's a book.
Yeah.
So like in my personal life, like I've said before.
Do you think it's like a high? Like riding roller coasters. Like that
Maybe.
is like an adrenaline seeking thing, right? That's kind of dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's
Maybe.
what it is? Maybe like a...
But also I'm like the most fearful person ever. So like that's as far as I'll go.
Yeah.
I liked roller coasters when I was younger, but then I realized that they're not for me many, many years ago. I don't remember why we went to Six Flags, but Mike, Glenn, and somebody else went to Six Flags, and so there were 4 of us, and I just remember being terrified.
Yeah.
Just like not in a good way. In a real way.
Yeah.
Like in a personal way, which
Not
I don't like.
Excited, yeah.
And I don't like being terrified. So.
I liked roller coasters. I haven't been anywhere with roller coasters in a very long time, and I am curious if that has changed. And I'm pretty sure it has. But like I went to Six Flags in high school. It's the one and only time. We ditched our senior day, which was at Disneyland, and a group of friends and I went to Six Flags, and my aunt let me borrow her car, which I thought was the coolest thing ever. It's not like I'd been driving for very long, and she trusted me to drive it all the way to, was it Valencia or something?
It's far.
It's far. Yeah, and I got on all the rides, and it was great. And I remember just having that feeling of, I don't know, excitement. I wonder if now it would just be terror. Part of me wants to be a cool mom because Josh is really into that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh, I want to go with him and like go on these rides. I'm like, oh, but I wonder if my back would hurt. That would just be so terrifying.
Remember not the Ghost Rider one?
Yeah, I loved it.
Okay, that one hurts your back.
Yeah. See, they never bothered me, right?
Really?
No, not when I went on them. But again, I haven't been on them since I was a teenager.
Even as a youth,
20s.
I was like, yo, this is not good for my back.
You were just ahead of the time.
I've always been an old lady. Like, things have to be nice to my body.
Yeah. Treat me right. Be good to me.
I said to the wooden roller coaster.
See, that's what comes with age and confidence, and you just knew it back then.
I've always been a complainer.
No, you've always known what's best for you.
Oh, God. And I knew that was not good for my back.
Yeah.
Anywho, okay.
Sundown Motel.
Yeah, so it gave me a nice sense of dread, which I enjoyed.
Okay.
So basically what happens is that this girl's aunt disappeared from this hotel.
Okay.
Because, like, she was working the night shift, and that was the last place that anybody saw her, was the hotel. To begin with, the aunt's story kind of, like, made me sad, just because, like, the aunt had this idea that she was going to get to New York, and, like, she just makes a pit stop at this hotel because the guy that she's getting a ride from gives her a bad feeling. So she was planning on going to New York, and then, like, she gets this ride from this rando, and he's a creep. And so she decides to hop off his car, and she ends up at
the Sundown Motel.
Basically she ends up getting a job there. She wants to get a room there. She ends up getting a job there, and there she stays. And then she disappears. So then, like, something like 30 years later, her niece, who is now around the same age as her.
When she disappeared.
Goes to Fell, New York to kind of find out what happened with her aunt.
So is she really close to her aunt?
No, she hadn't even been born.
Oh.
But her aunt has kind of like, because her mom, the sister of the missing person, she never wanted to talk about her missing sister. And now the mom has died. And the niece ends up, her name's Karli. Karli ends up feeling like she doesn't know.
How do you just remember that?
I just read the book. Within the past month. So
I'm proud of you. You get a gold star.
Thank you. I want to, because I remember the aunt's name too. Her name was Vivian.
You get another gold star.
Thanks. So then she feels like this disconnect, so she decides that she wants to find out what happened to her aunt. And I guess she kind of grew up around a mom who was sad.
Yeah.
So kind of get closure on that, I suppose. So she goes, she gets the same job, the same night shift, and job, the same night shift, job. And, so, stop it.
Okay.
Don't make me feel bad about myself.
I'm not.
Oh, I'm going to crawl into a ditch. So then, creepy things start happening immediately. Like, the doors just open by themselves. The power is all wonky and shit.
I'd be like, goodbye.
Oh, 100%.
You know, I'm not sticking around for
there
that.
Would be a Karla-shaped cloud form. Okay.
Because of how fast.
Because I'd be like, zoom! Like, I'd be gone.
So like the cartoons like Bugs Bunny.
Exactly like that. Like my feet would run in place from how fast my body was trying to go.
It was like the Roadrunner with Wile E. Coyote.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like my feet would run in place. There would be that like comical music to it. So that's how fast I would leave. Because like Karli doesn't need to be there. She doesn't need to be there, but she chooses to be there. So anywho, she goes, you know, to try to close the door and it won't stay closed, yada yada. She meets this dude who's staying at the hotel. The guy, he used to live in Fell. He has come back. His dad killed his brother. This is not a spoiler. This is found really quickly. And like he's back.
Okay.
In Fell. So he's like, you know, you just need to go back to the like main, what's that thing called? The desk. To the desk.
The reception desk?
Yeah, stay where you are, stay put, don't come out looking at these open doors. He's like, don't worry about it, just go live over there.
Okay.
So then, yada, 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 her roommate is this girl who's like really into, you know, crime and death and the stuff that has happened within the city, within the town. And she's like, yeah, there's a lot of missing or dead girls in this place. So come to find out that there was this one girl who was killed on a jogging path and her boyfriend got put away for it. And he was subsequently let out later.
Yeah. But
her boyfriend got put away with it, so it was considered a closed case. And then there was this this teacher that went missing and was never found. There was this...
were they all did they all get tracked to the hotel? Or this is just in the town in general?
Just in the town.
Okay.
So there's like missing people, there's dead people, you know, whatever.
I see dead people.
She does see dead people.
Oh God, that was a Sixth Sense joke. But okay.
Yes, but she does.
Okay.
She sees this lady who's not there but is there.
Can we talk about how great that movie was real quick?
It was so good.
So good.
Yeah.
Right? To not see it the whole time.
Oh, I was...
Boom.
That Shyamalan guy. He
so
knows
good.
how to do a twist. Wait, okay, so I recently watched a scary movie and I think it was from him too. Oh my God, was it called... It was called... Oh shoot. It's with an elevator.
I'm going to take your gold star away.
Hey. I think it's called Demon or Devil. It's called Devil. And
I'm pretty confident I've never seen any of his other stuff.
Of course. Because they're kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So that movie, the Devil one.
Yeah.
It's So good. There's these 5 people that get stuck in an elevator, but it's on purpose. Mm-hmm. And one of them is the devil. Ooh. And he's there to collect them. But he likes to, like, play with these people before he collects them.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if Jeff's seen it.
Ask him.
He probably has.
Because that one was good. I remember watching it, like, way back when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I think I watched it with Mike. And we were like, yo, that was so good. And then...
Screaming from the rooftops.
So then I was scrolling through, trying to figure out what to watch in the background. And that was the one. I was like, oh my God, I remember watching this. And I liked it. So, comfort movies.
Yes. To give you all those warm and fuzzies.
So I watched it. And it still is...
It holds up.
It does. It does. It still does. So it's called Devil by M. Night Shyamalan. And it's probably like 10-ish, 15 years old. Yeah. Something like that. Anyway. So she does see dead people at this hotel. Back to the book. She sees a little boy who apparently died in the pool. Mm-hmm. And she sees this lady.
Is he wet?
No. Okay. I don't think he's wet. And there's this lady who just seems like she's like not cool with being there, which of course. Yeah. And she smells cigarette smoke, and it turns out that it's the guy that used to work there. Oh. And she is
so inconsiderate.
Yeah. Ugh. And then she also hears someone calling her a fucking bitch, which is terrible.
So rude.
Rude.
As my Johnny would say. What a Rudy. Stop being such a Rudy.
That's cute.
It's adorable.
So she's doing all of this research, trying to figure out what happened. And it turns out that during Vivian, her time at the hotel.
That's the aunt?
That's the aunt. She also started going down this hole of missing dead girls. Because the girl that got killed in the jogging path, and the teacher that got killed and was never found, and there was also a mom that got like abducted, and her body was found. Her body was found. I think they all happened right around the time that she was there, like within the past couple years. So she goes down that rabbit hole. So they're both going down the same rabbit hole, except that Carly is going down the additional rabbit hole of her missing aunt. Oof. So, yada, yada, yada. It gets crazy. And it turned not... I feel like the haunting at the motel was more secondary to the mystery of the aunt, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
After a bit,
the aunt was just kind of setting the groundwork for...
Kind of. Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Well, the thing is that, like, I feel like I got used to the idea that the motel was haunted. Yeah. And I was like, okay, that's just the way the cookie crumbles there.
You have a note on here about victims and their demographics. And how based on their demographics, maybe things aren't pursued as much as they would if it was someone more affluent. Like you did a callback to the berry pickers, right? How that was a child from an indigenous family. Yeah. They got lost.
Oh, no, yeah.
She was an adult.
She was an adult. So, and also she was hitchhiking. And also she was leaving home. So, they just never found her. Yeah. And also, I think it's also, like... It's a small town. I don't know that they have the resources for that kind of search. And going back to Cabin in the Woods, I did feel like that was a major factor. Because, like, I'm pretty sure that acronym that I couldn't find out what it was, I'm pretty sure it was, like, a reservation. Yeah. So that was a callback to the berry pickers as well for me in my head. Because the berry pickers... Nobody cared that there was a missing child. Okay.
Yeah, it was incredibly, like, nonchalant. Yeah. It was like, tough luck.
Call us if you see anything. Yeah. It's like, well, please help. And she was such a small kid.
Yeah.
Read The Berry Pickers, yo. It was a really well-written book. Very emotional. Loved it.
5 stars.
Yeah, actually 5 stars, I think. 5 stars. Yeah. 4.8. Okay. So, anywho. So, the book, I think I would recommend it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not super duper scary, but it is a little bit chilling.
Yeah.
It has a nice atmosphere to it.
A little spookiness.
Yeah. I feel like if I were at that motel, I would not want to be there. So yeah, definitely spooky. And it has an ending that I saw coming.
Okay.
I was pretty sure that I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
And it does. And I still enjoyed it.
How far from the reveal did you, be halfway through when you already know how it's going to end? Or
no, maybe a couple chapters.
From the ending?
Okay. No, from the reveal.
Okay.
So, and I still enjoyed it, even though I was like, oh yeah, that did happen. I was happy about what I was thinking was going to happen.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I would recommend it.
Cool.
I think that is a 4-star spook.
Okay.
Yes. 4 ghosties.
So the reason Jeff had this book, I don't know what started it, but I think he wanted to do kind of an art project with kind of old-timey hotel signs. Mm-hmm. You know, they have the star and the outline, and
they have that not perfect rectangle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was doing a deep dive into those kinds of signs, and then he actually created a miniature 3D type thing, and he even collected a little light.
Oh my god, that's so
I'll
cute.
have to post it later. But then, so he was kind of into that stuff, and then we went to Barnes & Noble, and he saw that cover, and the cover is the hotel sign, and then it was kind of spooky, so he was like, oh, well, I have to get it.
It was serendipitous.
So it was a total random book pick. Okay.
I enjoyed it. Oh, but that also took us to a topic.
What?
Because, okay, so Jeff let me borrow the book.
Oh,
right? Yes. Okay, so Jeff let me borrow the book, and I took it home, and as I was finally gonna dive into it,
opening it up, cracking that spine,
I realized that the book was in pristine condition.
Yes.
He does not crack the spine.
No.
It doesn't look like it's been opened.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't read this book.
Because you...
Oh, okay, because I crack them up. I am the ghostwriter ride at Knott's Berry Farm. I mess with that spine. So I crack the spine, and I'll crack it in multiple places that it's pliable.
You physically, when you get a new book, you will
I don't think about it. It just happens.
But you open it and you bend it
backwards. I don't care.
And...
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying about caring, but that is what you do.
Yeah, I'll bend it. I'll okay.
So hardback versus paperback.
Hardback is obviously not going to get cracked like that.
Yeah.
But a paperback, it gets floppy real quick.
Yeah.
This is the book. I'll do this. Paper. I'll do this.
Oh my gosh, that's my meal planner, Karla. You better be careful.
I'm not folding it. Just kidding. I'll do this. And this is the
inside.
Seam.
Okay.
So
now, is that just to give you when you're holding the book? It just
it's whatever's easy for my hand.
Yeah.
And I prioritize that.
Yeah.
On top of the book.
I will say I am not a book purist in the sense of not wanting them to get damaged or I wouldn't mind having a book like that. It doesn't bother me, but I don't intentionally crack the spines or fold them or whatever. But I have been known to be a corner folder, which I know makes people...
I'm a corner folder
livid
also.
Sometimes. Oh, high five!
Yay! We're destructive.
To my books, obviously. I wouldn't do that to someone else's book. But... yeah, I'll fold a corner if I don't have something else.
100%.
Now I have little sticky tabs, which I like, and I'll tab my book instead.
I've put menus into my book as a bookmark.
Oh, I'll use anything as a bookmark. Jeff's coolest bookmark for a while was a quetzal, which is the national currency in Guatemala, but it was a brand new one. It's like a denomination of one, a quetzal. And it was green, and it had kind of like this clear part in the bill. Like part of it had kind of like a see-through section of it, which was really cool. And that was his bookmark for a really long time.
It could also be the loop.
The loop? What do you mean?
The clearness. He can like use it as a loop.
Oh. When we get really old. But yeah, I don't think Jeff would have minded if you had. He also doesn't. I don't think he cares.
I doubt that.
Maybe. I should let him answer that.
Because like, I don't know. Like there's really nothing. There's not even like a little wrinkle in the spine.
Well, he doesn't usually like walk or take his book anywhere. It's literally on the side of the bed. He reads it. He's done with it. You know, he's not carrying it places and it gets thrown in a bag. Right.
Where that blunts the edges.
Yeah. Your cover gets a little. Yeah. No, Jeff's. It's like on his nightstand. He'll read it there. So, but I don't think Jeff is a person to care. But
so I was like,
when you mentioned, I was like, I don't think he would, but I also don't want
to. So yeah, I did not read the physical copy. I wrapped it in a paper towel, put a piece of tape on the towel to prevent it from opening up, and I got it on. I started listening to the audio of it.
Yeah.
So
did that make it spookier? Were there any spooky parts?
I think that me reading it would have probably been scarier.
Okay.
In this one, and I don't usually get that because like I don't know. I feel like the audio on this one didn't lend itself to the fear-inducing part of the book. But it was still good. I still felt a little bit of dread. And yeah, it was enjoyable. Cool. I liked it. It was good. Mm-hmm.
So my book, and I read this one a few weeks ago. So, you know.
You remember none of it.
But it's called The Paris Novel by Ruth Reichel. Reichel. I kind of stumbled across it. I liked the cover, and I definitely judge a book by its cover. It just seemed cute. It has like this little Parisian setting, a girl at a cafe. And I got it through Libby, so it finally came up and I read it. It was cute, but as I posted on my Instagram, it was about food and fashion, and they're just two things that I don't have much of an interest in.
I don't understand the food part.
Yeah, it takes place in France. So the main character is Stella. She didn't have a good relationship. She didn't have a relationship with her mom. So another one of those situations, right, where the parent is just not involved at all. And then her mom dies and ends up leaving her in her will, like a trip to Paris. Like she has to go to Paris and live there for X amount of time or whatever.
That's super messed up.
Yeah.
What if Stella has a boyfriend?
She just leaves him. But she ends up going to Paris, and the first few weeks she's like not really doing much, and she's kind of bored, and she's not taking chances. And then she, you know, starts meeting people and ends up like discovering oysters and good wine and food. And she tries on this dress that, you know, was designed by some famous person, and she looks great in it. And it's cute. But I'm just not a fashion or food person. I think if you were into fashion oysters? And food, I've never had one, but I don't think I would. I'm very much a person of consistency. So I have like a weird mushroom thing. I love the flavor of mushrooms. I will order dishes with mushrooms in them and on them, but I will not eat the mushroom.
Whoa.
I know. Karla's giving me quite the look. I know it's weird, but I can't. I'll try cutting them into tiny, tiny little pieces. Like I can do mushroom soup. Like I love the flavor. I just can't deal with the chewiness. Same with like shrimp. I can't deal with like the chewiness of shrimp. I don't really eat a lot of seafood. I eat salmon. Salmon's my only seafood really. And canned tuna, if that counts. I can't do sushi. I know. No. Say something, Karla. Karla's in shock. So oysters, I don't think, no pun intended, would go down very well with me. But I'm intrigued by oysters. Like, people rave about them.
I'm intrigued by the idea of oysters.
What was the book? This Summer Will Be Different, I think, that I talked about recently by Carly Fortune. Oysters were like a giant part of that book, and it makes me want oysters. Okay.
Would you be able to get past it and eat it?
No. So I tried this with sushi in my early 20s because our friend Brooke is a huge sushi lover, and it was a big deal with our friends. Like, they would go and have all-you-can-eat sushi. And I remember going with her to lunches during our work breaks, and we would meet somewhere and have sushi because I wanted to like it so much, and I wanted to be the person that eats sushi, but I would have to literally, like, gag and swallow. Like, I would force myself to eat it. And then I realized I am not a sushi person. I just have to come to terms with that.
You don't like the texture, or you don't like the taste?
The texture.
But you like the taste?
The taste I was fine with for some of it. I mean, I don't think I ever got to anything too extravagant, but it's the texture for sure.
So even the rolls?
I could do the rolls. I could do like a crunchy roll, but then when I got to like a shrimp or something in it, and then I would have to like swallow that really quickly.
Oh man.
I know, it's a huge bummer. I feel like I miss out on so much. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, oysters seems like an experience. You go somewhere cool and you get like a half shell or whatever you say of oysters, and it seems to be part of the experience in going certain places, or food in general. I'm just not a food person. Honestly, when Jeff and I think of traveling places, our biggest challenge, I think, would be food, because neither one of us are hugely, like, we're not adventurers when it comes to trying things.
That's why you're thin.
I'm boring. I eat the same things.
I very easily can eat the same things all the time. I love repetition. I love it.
Yeah.
However, I love textures, and I love weird tastes, and I enjoy it very much.
I wish I were different. I would love to be able to try things and experience them. So I try to encourage, Josh is my middle son, and he's the only one that has that kind of curiosity for food. And as much as we don't eat that stuff, I want to encourage him to. So like one day he mentioned crab legs, and I was like, yeah, let's go buy crab legs, and Grandpa showed us how to make them and dip them, and he took one bite and he's like, yeah, I don't like it, but he tried it, right? And I want to encourage that, because I do feel like my food palate is so limiting.
Oh man.
But so reading about all of this like food stuff and recipes, and you know how she's started cooking and like mixing different flavors and stuff, I'm like, that's cool.
Remember that I emailed you and Erica about that book that ended up being the cause of me taking a break, A Certain Hunger, and I was like, maybe you would get into it because it's about food, blah blah blah, and then it turned out that it was about accountable, and I was like, oh fuck.
Never mind.
And I emailed you, and I was like, don't read that book.
I do remember that. So it was cute. I mean, she ends up, you know, going to Paris and kind of finding herself and discovering these new things, and then it kind of leads her to reevaluate who her mother was and what her mother's intention was in sending her to Paris, because it really did get her out of her bubble, and it got her to experience things that she would never have experienced before, and realizing that she really loved all of these things. So it was cute. Again, I think if someone was into those things, they'd probably enjoy it a lot more than I did.
Okay.
Oh, and there was a part, she goes to a museum and sees this painting, and there's a woman on the painting, and she has like this, I don't know, a certain look about her, and she starts going down the rabbit hole of discovering who that woman was. And it was kind of a callback to The Lost Apothecary. I feel like there was another book that I read recently that had this, but like figuring out who that woman was and giving her a name in history, because everyone had kind of made that model out to be like a drunkard, when in reality she was an artist in her time, but men were jealous of a female artist that was like producing better stuff than they were. So they kind of buried her in history. So one of her goals in the story is to kind of rediscover that woman and give her credit for what she did as an artist.
In contemporary time with this woman who's in Paris now, was she still considered a drunkard only, or was she? Oh,
yeah. So no one really knew her real history because men were the ones that wrote her history, right? So she took it upon herself to she literally went through like these archives in churches, trying to find out where she was born, where she died, where she lived, trying to find some of her art that apparently was really great, trying to track down where it went. And at the end, she ends up kind of giving this woman a new history, which was nice.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. It's interesting how that seems to be such a common theme, unfortunately, of, women's history being written by men in a not positive light. Yeah. And then having to go back and find out who they really were. Yeah. So that was the Paris novel. What else have you been reading?
Okay, so I tried again to get into romance.
Oh, what did you try?
It was not good.
What did you try?
So there was this, it's not a trilogy, it's a 4-book series. And I decided to read the last one.
Really?
Yes. Well, because it seemed like they were standalones.
Okay.
With the same characters.
Okay.
But I feel like it's probably kind of like that pumpkin shop coffee place.
Yeah.
Where it follows one person for one book and it follows another person for okay. I feel like it's kind of the same kind of dealio. I did not like it. What was it called?
Are you going to say the name? Are you too embarrassed to even name it?
No, I'm going to say it. I just don't. It was called. Oh, let's see what you are called.
Is it Everything is Eventual?
No, Everything is Eventual is a short story. Where the heck is it, man? It's called Twisted Lies by Anna Huang.
Huang?
Huang, yes. So it was bad.
Sorry, Anna, not sorry. Do better.
I'm sure this is just not for me.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are people out there that, and I think, what's happening is that my choices of books, how it tells you might like this or whatever?
Yeah.
I think that what's happening is that because I have all 5 ACOTAR books.
I just pulled it up and looked at the cover. No.
I love it.
I can't believe you even started that.
I'm sorry about it.
It has a man with an open t-shirt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Mine is a green cover with pearls.
I wouldn't read that based off the cover.
This is the cover that I got.
That's very different.
It's incredibly different. It has like a fucking perfume bottle on there. That is embarrassing.
I can't believe you read that.
It was really bad. I feel like it was like caricatures of people.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
Oh my god. I give it 2 poppers. 2 jalapeno poppers.
Yeah.
And 0.75 stars. It was bad.
Well, you tried.
I tried. I'm going to eat this grape because I've been trying to eat this grape for like the past 10 minutes.
Go for it. Enjoy it. Are you done with that one?
Absolutely.
So I haven't read it past the first 5 pages, but my Amazon book reads from Guatemala, the Daughter of Fire one.
Is it the one that you said was in Guatemala, but not necessarily by Guatemalan?
Yeah, I haven't looked up the author yet. Sophia Robledo.
I was interested in finding out about that.
Mexican.
Oh, okay.
But what's interesting about that is that there's part of the Yucatan Peninsula that used to be part of Guatemala originally.
Okay.
So like Yucatan Peninsula, if you go there, the ruins and some of the stuff there is Mayan rather than Aztec.
Okay.
So maybe there's some overlap there on what the storyline was. So I started it. I didn't get very far into it, but I think I texted you about the dedication. Like, I love dedications.
Oh, I don't care about dedications.
Oh, I love reading the dedications. I also read the credits at the end. Or the acknowledgements, you know, where they say like, thank you to this person. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much trouble navigating my phone. I feel so old right now. The dedication is for my son Hugo, who will hopefully grow up to be the exact opposite of nearly every male character in this novel. I was like, oof. And I know that we've had conversations before about like the lack of fathers in my family, like growing up and them leaving, and I don't know, there's so many things that are kind of typical of Hispanic cultures. I was like, oh, I wonder if this will hit on some of those topics. So just the dedication made me super curious to see where these characters are going.
Yeah.
But the cover itself, I love because...
Is it a man with an open shirt?
I'm going to read that one. No, it has so much symbolism, I think, in it. Like, it has volcanoes and hummingbirds. It has this flower on here that, from going to school in Guatemala, I recognized as, like, the national flower of Guatemala. It's called the moja blanca. It's an orchid. But I just love when, like, a cover says so much with just, like, the imagery of it. So, again, I haven't read it, but I'm really excited to read it. But it's a heavy book, and I read a few pages, and I could see where it's going already. It is going back in time to when the Spaniards were kind of conquering the area, and it talks about the mass burials of kind of indigenous populations when they were getting decimated. So,
can we talk about something current?
I touched about that a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm just not there right now.
Current time.
Yeah.
The very recently previous president invited the Spanish king to apologize to its indigenous people in Mexico that it had done that to.
Ooh.
And from what I understand, the Spanish king did not even respond to the Mexican president. So now there is a new president. The first lady president has just been, I don't know what the terminology, is that the terminology in Mexico?
It's an inauguration. Oh, I don't know about, yeah.
So she's recently, become the president, and the Spaniards were not invited. Which is like, duh, you completely ignored another head of state. Yeah. Why would they invite you to this important part of Mexican history?
Their politics.
Yeah. I like the idea of Spain, but also, fuck that guy. Don't fucking ignore the Mexican president.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, anywho, it's kind of exciting that there's a lady president now.
Yeah.
Let's see what she does.
I know. Let's see where she goes.
So that came up because you were saying that, like, you know, the Spaniards were conquering.
So it, like, there's a scene, this is still at the very beginning, like I said, I haven't gotten very far, but the mom is talking to the daughter, and she's talking about protecting the Popol Vuh, which is this indigenous history book. I learned about it in elementary school in Guatemala. I don't remember anything about it now, but I think it's very much based in Mayan culture and traditions and spirituality. And it seems like this book is almost like Cloud Cuckoo Land. Do you remember reading that one?
No.
Where they had this manuscript, and the book is in 3 different timelines, but it's about protecting this manuscript through time, and you kind of see the same manuscript kind of going through all of these different storylines. I think this book will be similar, because this is the mom, like, literally handing this book to her daughter as these Spanish conquistadors are kind of there and taking over, and she's telling her daughter. So this is a family
that has power within this.
It seems like the mom is indigenous, and she's married a Spaniard. So the daughter is a mestiza, right? She's like half and half. But the mom talks about, they're talking about how, like, they can never speak their language in front of her dad, you know, and the dad can never know about this book. And the mom tells her, you have to protect this book. If there comes a day when I'm not around, it is so important that you protect this book. And it names it. It talks about the book.
That's a deathbed confession in advance.
But I'm so curious to see where that goes, because that book does end up becoming super important for that cultural identity later on. But in the moment where the mom is passing the book down, she tells the girl to look out the window, and she's like, do you see that mountain? Like, that's my whole family. Like, that's where my family's buried because they were all killed. And I was like, I'll come back to this. Come back to this later. But I think it'll be a book kind of, is it Small Great Things, where I think it's an important read for knowing what happened and learning about things a little bit deeper. But
loving it so far.
Yeah.
Let's come back to it.
I will. How about you? Another one?
Okay. So I read Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. And this book is weird, yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Horror Movie by who?
Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay.
Okay.
He's the same guy.
I was going to say, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Remember my book club pick? I think it was my book club pick. I have been bitten by a mosquito.
There's one in... Oh, look. It's right there.
This mofo. Okay, because
we had a mosquito in the last episode, too.
It's been a horror story for me at home. Yeah. I've been getting eaten by a mosquito. Okay.
Get him. Do you want cortisone?
Look at this. Look at this motherfucker. That one got me at home.
Yeah.
And then there's one right here. Yeah. There's one right here.
Showing me off for battle.
There's one there. I've got one on both knees.
Yeah.
I've got one on my ankle. I've been.
Do you want cortisone?
They saw me and they were like, "Here comes the all-you-can-eat buffet."
I know.
And I have been chomped on by these damn mosquitoes.
They like me also.
Oh my god! It's because we're delicious.
It's because of your blood. It really is.
What?
They're attracted to certain blood types. But, like, Jake doesn't get bitten. Jeff rarely gets bitten. I get bitten every day. I've got cortisone all over this house. If you want some, let me know.
What does cortisone do?
It stops the itchiness.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Okay, book club. You said you had a Paul Tremblay.
Oh, right. So Paul Tremblay, I think he's the person who wrote A Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay.
Which was that the apocalyptic one.
Yeah, where the airplanes fell from the sky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the family had to choose one person to kill in order to stop it.
Oh, that ending. Oof.
So, regarding that, I despised the book, but the movie was so good.
A Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
The movie was good. Anywho, back
you did write that.
To Horror Movie.
Yeah.
This book is weird.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I got a little scared.
Okay.
There's a part where he goes into the closet, or like it's a supply closet, and he's sitting there and he hears like something, like I guess making noise against the wall. Ooh, that part got me. I was like, ah! But like it got me a little.
Yeah. Not a lot.
And okay, so basically it's in two different times, about 30 years apart.
Okay.
It follows this guy when he's like in his early 20s, and he gets approached by an acquaintance. I wouldn't say that it's a friend.
Yeah.
He gets approached by an acquaintance who is making a movie with her friend who wrote it, and with her friend who's going to act in it and also be like I think he's the makeup artist.
Okay.
So it's going to be a scary movie, and they want him to be the thin kid who we're never going to see his face. He's not going to have a line. He's just basically going to be this kid in the movie that we always kind of see from the back peripherally. He never interacts with the camera. So he accepts. And there was one thing that I did not like, because it happens when he's younger and it happens in present day, which is that I feel like he accepts to do things kind of as if he has no choice.
Okay.
Which makes it seem like this is fated. Like this is what's going to happen regardless. Mm-hmm. And I don't...
Oh, fated.
Yeah.
I was trying to understand that from faded.
No, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just
mealy mouth.
It gave me a different My brain was going in a different direction.
Like, it just seems like
predetermined.
Yeah, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
That I don't think that it bonks you over the head, but it does bother me that he says, and I didn't say yes, but I didn't say no. And it's like, just
make a choice.
Yeah. And I didn't want to, but I also couldn't say no. And I never did this, but I'm sure I felt it.
Throughout the book. I hate when stuff like that happens, when there's like a thing that bothers you and it keeps going on. Like, it circles back.
So I didn't like his personality. Okay, so we go through the story of them making this movie throughout the whole book, and this movie getting a reboot throughout the whole book. It jumps back and forth between times. And it has a pretty crazy ending. Yeah. I thought it was going to happen, the ending. And then it was like, no way. No way. No way. No way.
And then it did.
And then it did. And I was like, yo, way.
I wait.
And then at the very ending, something terrible happens that I did not enjoy. But it's a scary movie, scary story, scary book, and
I guess you don't expect HEAs, happily ever afters, in your scary books.
That's true. It works. It all works.
Yeah.
However, I don't like this personality.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I cared about what happened to him.
Yeah.
So for that, he loses half a star. But I think that this is like a 3.9.
Okay.
4.2. Between 3.9 and 4.2 stars.
Did you have another book? Do you want to save it?
I had a short story.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead?
Which is the second part of the Pit box
thing. Yeah.
The
Guillermo del Toro and not Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
But Chuck Hogan.
Yes. So get this.
Get this.
I think it is a vampire.
Oh, Lee was right.
It's so it's the Pit and the box, the boy in the iron box. The boy in the iron box part is in parentheses. So it's the Pit and the box.
Okay.
Okay. Spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil this. Well, I'm not going to spoil it because it's book 2 only.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the guys opens the box. One of the Russian guys opens the box.
Open the box.
Aw, what's in the box? So I'm going to rewatch that movie. Okay. So he opens the box and there's a boy in there.
The boy in the box.
Yes. And he removes something from his neck. And then the boy has oddly sharp teeth. And the man is dead now. He had something like taken out of his chest, and the brother finds his dead body, and he thinks that the wolves like attacked him, the wolves from outside. So he starts shooting at the wolves. But whatever. The point is that the wolves did not do this.
Yeah,
it was totally the boy in the box, and they just went back in. And this is the cliffhanger that it ended on. They just went back in and they said, "Open the box," and the boy is not there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Vampires.
I think it's a vampire.
When you said they removed something from him, I thought of that story, when you're little, and talk about the girl with the ribbon around her neck.
I love that story so much.
If you take the ribbon off, her head's going to fall off. That's weird, right? Like, where does that...
These things?
Who says that? And why was it such, it was such a prevalent thing?
I loved it. It creeped me the fuck out as a kid.
Well, yeah.
And I was like,
we obviously went in different directions.
I was like, yeah, this is for me.
I was like, I don't want any of this.
I was like, give it to me with spoons. Just feed it into my veins.
Well, fantastic.
We're done, y'all.
Fantastic reading. I hope you guys are reading some great spooky books, if that's what brings you joy during this time, or family-centered stuff, if that's what brings you happiness.
Something about turkeys, if you're into Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Tell us all about it. We can't wait to hear what you've been reading.
Yes, please do.
Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.